And then I'm a huge fan of Dylan too. His stuff,
Thanks, man.
Is This How It All Falls Apart is still one of my favorite songs from last year.
That song, the way that song like moved was crazy, dude.
It's so good.
You want to hear an inside scoop on that song?
Please.
So that song was super personal to him. Very, very, very personal story to him. And I'm never the type of guy who's like, you have to do X, Y, and Z. Like, that's really on the artistry side of things. I'm never gonna do that. But
sure,
I can be like,
me too.
I'm like, oh, you could build the bridge up a little more, like just like little things here and there. So I told him, I was like, yo, I really think that you should belt out that second verse like crazy. And he's like, nah, it's perfect. And I'm normally like, okay, like if that's what he wants, that's what he wants. So we dropped the song as is, and this is actually a great segue into working with different artists and understanding how to be a manager with different artists. Certain people you're very hands-on with, and certain people just like they have it on raps. They just need certain holes that you need to fill for them. You know what I mean? And that's how it is with Dylan. And he just like was like, this song's perfect. I really believe in it the way it is. And we drop it. And first week it did like pretty good. He had a little bit of TikTok engagement, nothing crazy. It was like I think the biggest video he had on TikTok for that specific song was like 18,000 views, but the engagement was crazy. So it was like 18,000 views, but he had like 2,000 likes and like 300 comments, which is like, if you do the conversion ratios on that, that's like a lot of engagement.
No, that definitely is a lot of engagement.
So it wasn't even like he had a viral like TikTok or whatever. Like it was just like everybody like genuinely felt
like they liked
so intimate with the song. It's
right.
such an intimate
so
song.
Good.
And like then I'll never forget, like we were at that was the first song we ever worked on together, believe it or not.
Sure. Wow.
And so we drop it. Does like okay the first week. Drop it on a Wednesday. All right. Does like 1,000, 1,500, which is like, I don't know if people know this, but if you're like an independent artist, dude, it is so hard to get like 1,000 streams.
The first 1,000's key. I mean, if you can get that first 1,000, it's awesome.
Yeah,
so.
It's hard to do that too.
It's very hard.
It's a very like underrated thing to do. And so
100%.
Then the week after, I get an email late Tuesday night from our people over at Sparta. Hey, does Dylan have any pictures, like higher quality pictures? We try to take the ones from Spotify, but they're a little too grainy because he's got that grainy feel to him.
Yeah, he does.
And they were like, I'm like, yeah, like let me grab a few. I'm like, they're asking for a reason. They're not just asking for, you know what I mean?
Right.
So I'm like, do you mind telling me what this is about? Like, and they're like, yeah, our guy at Audio Salad, I think who like they distribute through or something like it's like another platform, like a Dashco or something like that. Like. They're like, yeah, like they for a list feature. I don't even know what that. I didn't at the time. Like, I don't even know what the fuck that means. The fuck's that? Like, what is a list feature? You know what I mean? Like, and then they're like, oh, like a cover of a Spotify playlist. So I knew the night before that he was gonna be the cover of Fresh Ones Pop, and I was like freaking the fuck out because it was like 11 o'clock at night, and I'm like, this shit updates in like an hour, like so. I ended up hitting him up. I was like, dude, you're going to be the cover of a Spotify playlist. Like, it's fucking crazy. Like, that was my first ever situation like that. And so, like, with somebody on the cover. Like, we've had people hit editorials, but the cover is fucking a whole different thing. So, hits cover Fresh Finds Pop. Fucking crazy. Then lands on the regular Fresh Finds. And believe it or not, never got playlisted on any other editorial after that. And then months after the release, it was doing, like, not to give away his numbers, but it was doing like 15 to like 25K a day. All organic, algorithmically, and the saves were going up like constantly. Jeez. So then
that song is worth that.
And then the next week, MTV picked it up randomly. I don't know. Shit. I don't even know if you remember this. So we still to this day have no idea how like that happened. So because we reached out to Sparta, no one at Sparta could give us an answer. I know, you know me. I work a lot on the press side of things too. I was like, I ain't taking credit for this because I know nobody at MTV. Like, yeah. So I'm like, I don't know how it happened, and I'm grateful that it did because it was amazing. But like, yeah, I was like on Twitter, and like I saw like the real MTV account, not like MTV something, like real MTV. It was like Demi Lovato, Troye Sivan, a few other like 4 like huge artists, and then it was like Dylan with his like 130 followers on Twitter. Is this how it all falls apart? Oh, sorry about that, but like, is this how it all falls apart? And I'm like, what the?
That's insane.
Fuck? It was weird as fuck.
Insane.
Like,